Good morning. Welcome to Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Sorry we missed you last week. I got a sinus infection and unfortunately I wasn't even able to talk. So here we're back live with the show, and I just want to give everyone a call-in number. It's 702-483-4444. If you have any questions, remarks, etc., please call into the studio and let us know. We are here to educate and give you information. Today, we're going to be talking about grant money. It's called down payment assistance. And I have guests in here today, Diana Dykes and Julia Garcia with
Security National Mortgage. Hi,
Thank
good morning.
you.
Yeah, good morning.
Great.
Security National Mortgage. Good morning.
Thank you so much for being my guest here today. The whole point of what we're doing today, we're going to be talking about down payment assistance programs, how they work, what some of the different things that are required of the buyer. Do they have to take a class, etc. So one more time, the call-in number is 702-483-4444. We welcome your calls. Please don't hesitate. Okay, so we're going to start out with some things about this down payment assistance. First of all, how do we get that money to our clients? How do we set them up? What are some of the criterias?
Here's the criteria. You cannot make any more income than $95,000 for the home is possible. This is one of the best grant programs out that has come out in Nevada to bring back consumer confidence to Nevada. So you can't make no more than $95,000 a year. You have to take a home buyer educated class. It's best to take the 8-hour class. We just did one in our office, and it was a tremendous turnout and just a lot of great attitude there.
Wow.
You could have anywhere from down payment assistance program, down payment assistance from 3% down all the way to 5%. It is FICO driven. The minimum FICO score is 640. All the way up to 5% down is 682. Get with your lender, work with us. It really takes a long time for the paperwork, but it cannot. As much as you will work with us and enhance the paperwork to us and get you quickly qualified, then we can get you qualified and then come back to you, Lynaae, and they can go house shopping. But it is one of the easiest down payment assistance to bring back consumer confidence.
Okay, so when we talk about this down payment assistance, are they required to pay this back, live in the house for so many years, etc.?
Okay, on the home is possible, they are not. Okay.
So never have to repay it.
No, they don't. They would like for them to stay in the home at least 3 years. But this is one of the grant programs that has a lot of money left. And we had the head of Nevada Home is Possible at our office on Friday. They do not have to pay that money back, but they do have to own or occupy it. They cannot own another home when they close this deal. They could sell their house today and go get this Home is Possible.
Okay, this is my phone.
So on top of that program, there is a number of other programs that Nevada does have to offer. Just given the criteria, everybody is different. Everybody meets a certain criteria. Like Diana was speaking, Home is Possible. That's kind of like the general down payment assistance that we would offer because it is not zip code driven.
Oh.
Meaning that the homeowner could buy anywhere in Nevada. It doesn't have to be low to moderate income like other programs may be. So,
okay. Now, when I came into your office on Friday, you talked about there was actually about 11 different types of programs out there. So if someone doesn't qualify for this, then we have backup systems or
there's
backup
other
programs?
Options, yeah, it's case by case scenario. Once you really listen to somebody, as an agent, you want to listen to them and really give them what they want and what they need, So it's if they don't meet a criteria for one, well, there's a couple of others that we can kind of troubleshoot through and see, what they would qualify for. All of which do require a home buyer education class, like Diana was saying. The class that we threw at our offices at Security National right here up the street on Friday, the certificate that we gave the 30 home buyers is good for 1 year.
Okay.
So that certificate qualifies them for 1 year because everybody's in a different stage of the home buying process. Some people are in the beginning stages, some people are a little farther along. So I feel like that 1 year is sufficient to have them look and see what they qualify for.
And then also, is this certificate good for a number of those programs or just
Correct.
one particular?
All of them.
Correct.
All of them.
All
So
of them,
so
yeah.
it's like, this is great. So we're going to the right lender who's going to give us this right class that will cover us for, maybe 4 or 5 different programs. So they're not having to take a class for each program if it doesn't work out.
Correct. And the class that we actually had at our office was ran by Community Services of Nevada, which is a nonprofit here in town. So they are accredited to hold such a class, and we were lucky enough to host it at our office. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. So how does this work with VA?
All of the actual home buyer down payment assistance programs do qualify for the VA. Given the veteran, they actually obviously get perks given the different down payment assistance programs. For example, she had mentioned Home is Possible. They actually have a Home is Possible for Heroes. So if you are a veteran, disabled or not, you do qualify for the program, and it's a little bit different of a down payment assistance. They actually get a lower interest rate on their mortgage rather than getting a grant of cash to be utilized either for closing costs or for down payment.
Yeah, they can use either or. We are very, very big and adamant about assisting our veterans.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
Yeah, very adamant.
Well, I
and
think it's important.
very important, and Security National takes a lot of pride in assisting the veterans, and also really huge on bringing the consumer confidence back. And not even the large banks now offer the programs that we have to give these wonderful programs. A lot of people, I can't tell you how many people come in to our office and say, I can't qualify, I have bad credit. We educate them. We educate them to consumer confidence to bring them back into home ownership. We just closed a gentleman's loan we've been working on for a year. He only brought in $1,000. We had 3% closing costs and 3% of down payment assistance program. He just got on his knees and he said, now I can go out and have a family. So this is what people are doing. It's not only just getting them in these programs, it's bringing life back to them again that Nevada really needs.
Now, I have a question. We also have the program called the 203K for rehabbing houses. Is this program, can it be used in conjunction with that?
It can, but we don't, that takes a long time. You have your home path programs, and then you have your 203K programs. Most of the houses now, we're not finding as many 203K homes, but if we run into that, we can work this program because it's called a FHA in conjunction with Home is Possible. So they would work with that Home is Possible with the 203K. We are really finding that a lot of the banks now are mandated to fix those properties up and get them back on the market.
Well, isn't it funny
makes
that you
sense.
say that's funny that you say that, because I actually encourage my clients to do the same thing. I've actually found a contractor who will get paid out at closing. So I said, why don't you treat it like they would do a flip property? I mean, because any time you have a property that's in need, someone's going to come in and they're going to want the best price possible because of all the work they see that they need to. But then if they're going to do a flip, they need to also make certain amount back as well. So there's always all that involved. So I encourage my clients to do the
Right.
same. So yeah, on the listing parts, that's my goal is always to list as is, except for my short sales. Okay, great. Well, don't know where we're at in our time. Okay, so let's talk about how agents respond to these down payment assistance programs. Do you find that's been your hardest?
No, we really don't. What I find is the hardest is that many of the lenders and loan officers don't want to do these programs because there's triple work and triple less commission. So it's not that you're always in it for commission. Security National is one for really helping and working with all of our nonprofits in town to bring back that, I consistently say it, bring back that consumer confidence. There are many phone calls that I get and they say, Diane, I heard that you do a lot work with the nonprofits and you have the home buyer classes and you also have all these home buyer down payment assistance programs. I called 5 other lenders in some of the banks and they don't even offer this program. it is work and it is knowledge and it is intensity, and you have to work with the consumer. For example, yesterday I was on the line with Fannie Mae for 3 hours with one client because I believe in this customer. She is 11 years in the school district system. She is a great just asset to the community. So I really want to get her into a home. A lot of people will not take that time. So that was a really good question.
Oh,
and the
wow.
agents like it because they're like, what program do I put this customer in? They're right on the border. I have no idea. You're not a lender. You're going out and finding the beautiful home, that needle in a haystack for them. And there are some still really good priced homes at 180, 160, 150 that are out there.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of listings in that price range. So yeah, I understand. Well, this one of the things that when we get back on the show today. First of all, I want to give the call-in number again, 702-483-4444. Lynaae, real estate know-how with Lynaae. I'm with Desert Valley Realty, and just want to let y'all know that you can call in and ask questions. We're here for the next 45 minutes, so don't hesitate to, give that call in so that we can answer your questions. So we're going to go ahead and go to break, and then we'll be right back. Good morning. Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Our call-in number is 702-483-4444. We welcome your calls. Today I have on the show Diana Dykes and Julia Garcia with
Security National Mortgage. Thank you. Good morning.
She says
Good
it so
morning,
well.
Security National Mortgage. Good morning.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to explain a couple of the different down payment assistance programs that are out there besides the first one we were talking about and the qualifications. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Julia.
Like we had kind of went in detail earlier, we talked about the Home is Possible. Generally, people do like that program because it is not zip code driven. So you are able to buy all across the valley and not have to stick in a certain area. Another program that is zip code driven, it's actually ran through Nevada Rural Housing. It's called Home at Last. Now, those typically, because it is rural, it has to be in an area that is not city bounded. So Mesquite, Pahrump, even Mountain's Edge, Whitney, Enterprise, Boulder City, those all are included in the rural area and can be qualified.
So do you have like a zip code list of some of those?
You can actually go on the Home at Last website, and they have a list of the different counties or cities and to see if it qualifies more or less for the program. That one is a grant, like Home is Possible, so you do not have to pay back the money. Given the interest rate or percentage of the grant that you actually use, rather, is driven by your interest rate. So ranges anywhere from 2% to a 5% grant, which can be used for down payment assistance and closing costs.
Same income requirement?
Same income requirements. Max is $95,500 per year.
On the Home is Possible. On the Home at Last, yes, but on some of the different programs, there's the median income that you have to qualify for. So it's really best to get with a lender that is very knowledgeable on these programs.
Okay.
Because you have to be very careful and fit them in all the right boxes. So the new program, Home for Ready, it is driven by the median income. The Home Ready program offers a little bit of a different twist to it that can help you qualify. It's more on the Fannie Mae that will help you qualify if you have a mother living in the house, and you need her income to help qualify. It won't go against the loan, but it will help you get into the home, per se. That's why it is so important to work with a lender that is very, very experienced and knowledgeable on these programs.
Well, so the mixed family that, has mom living there
Exactly.
because they, it works for them to help with the child care, or having the parent there because the parent needs care. They still have an income based, be it their, retirement or Social Security, that could help the individuals get into a home.
Yeah, it's called a non-borrower household member.
Okay.
Where we can take their income into consideration, being that they live in the home. What she was mentioning, different from the Home at Last, she had said the Home Ready. The Home Ready is, you can also use non-occupant borrowers as well to be utilized on the loan, kind of like a co-signer, so to speak, and they do not have to reside in the home. Now, in that program in specific, that income, like she had said, you do have to meet a certain income with a certain algorithm or whatnot. The home at last is the 95,500 is the maximum for the home at last. Which
And
is
the home is
rural.
possible.
And home is possible.
And that
so.
puts people in a very good position.
Oh, yeah,
95,000. There's people. We have a doctor that came in last week, and he's just like, "I'm making 85,000. I qualify for this program." I said, "Yes, you do." And so once we pulled his credit, looked at his financials, because we won't just give a pre-qualification letter. We sit down and really work with them on their financials, and that is doing justice to you as a real estate agent. That when we give you that pre-qualification letter, you know, coming from us, they're qualified.
Right. So they have to do the basics. They have to have their tax returns filed. They have to have bank statements. They have to be able to provide their payroll, etc. Correct?
Correct. 2
letters
months
of
bank statements.
Okay. Letters of explanations of,
Gap of employment or things like that, yeah.
Or if they had a foreclosure, probably 1 out of 2 people that come to our office has filed bankruptcy or foreclosure. The most important part is when you file a foreclosure and your bankruptcy at the same time, that if you put it into your bankruptcy, that it records at that same time. That is very, very important. Well, how can I find that out, Diana? You could just go to the tax assessor's office and pull up and see when your house recorded that foreclosure.
and guess what? I can do that.
Yes, you can. So there's a lot of people here on this show today that educate and help educate. The number one drawback is where a consumer holds their paperwork. They go home, they get busy, they go to soccer, they go to football practice, they go to school, they get home, they watch TV. I'm like, it's been a week. We are mandated now. We will make them sign a paper. Get us your paperwork within 24 hours, voluntarily give us your paperwork so we can work with you and see what program that you can work with.
Well, if we're going to put on all this extra energy, we expect them to have some skin in the game.
Correct.
Or
It's all
so.
voluntarily giving us their paperwork with the new TRID guidelines, but we do follow those.
Yeah. Okay. And the reason I asked some of this question is because I'm actually bringing you a client this afternoon that I've had with somebody else that has this program in their office. But my last client that closed with them, all they did was complain about the process and the program, and all my client could hear was they don't like the program. And what they didn't understand, the client, was they're complaining, and I feel like I'm causing them too much work.
That's not fair to your client, because at the end of the day, that loan officer, it's so much more greater than what you get out of it. The fact that you can put someone in a home
I know.
at a lower cost and keep more money in the bank. I mean, me as a loan officer, that's my biggest rule of thumb. How much money can I keep in my borrower's bank account?
Yeah.
Life happens after you buy a home. You buy a home, yeah, it's great. You get that mortgage, but life happens,
Well,
so.
and I've always encouraged my clients. That's why this is a great program for me to see this, is because I say this. Often you get into the house, and what do you want to do? Put up window blinds and curtains, and you want to buy that bathroom set finally because it's your house. And the people forget all of this stuff costs money.
You figure 5% of one of these grants that are coming from, we're talking free money from the state, we're talking free money that is out for the grabs. 5% on 100,000, that's $5,000.
That they-
you figure closing costs are what, 3% of that. So anything extra, they can use as a down payment. And when you utilize that money as a down payment, I don't know if people realize this, it's lowering your loan amount.
I
So
know.
instead of owing 100,000, okay, well, let's say you put all that 5 towards down. Well, now you only owe 95,000 on your home. So it's unfortunate how a lot of people are not really knowledgeable on the programs, but B, don't really want to do it because the work that's involved.
Or
But
don't have the passion.
Yeah,
I've been
So
doing
when you
this
talk
over
about the-
20 years, and you have to have the passion to do this, because our day starts sometimes from 5 in the morning till 10, 11 o'clock at night, putting these loans together. And you have to have that passion drive to see one's face, to put them in home ownership. We work anywhere from low end to high end, but the passion to get someone in a house, you have to have the drive and the passion. We become regulators now, not loan people. It's become a regulation, United States. So we have to put all that paperwork together, intensity for many, many hours. If one complains, they really need to find a different line of work. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I used to be a loan processor. So
So
So one of the questions I ask as an agent helping my loan people with their passion, because my passion is, I grew up in the foster care system, and so my big thing is I want to see people get into home, because I didn't have a home as a child. When you live in 15 different houses, you don't have your own space, and that's the first thing you want to do. And I guess someone made this comment, and it just like clicked into place, and like going, wow, no wonder I love selling homes. And really what I've always said is I don't sell a home. A home sells itself. What's my job? I'm the coordinator. So if I was to come to you as an agent, what would be the one thing or two things that I could do to facilitate making the job, because your passion is to do this, but you've got extra work. What could I do to make your job easier?
Tell the consumer to have all their paperwork ready. And whatever the lender asks them or requires, just get it. Don't debate about it, because we're not asking for that piece of paper just to have that piece of paper. Again, the regulators have demanded so much on us. The more we have a complete package for them, the easier it is.
Oh, I know. I remember as a processor, I used to go in and look at files and go, look at everybody else's mistakes and make sure I had mine addressed.
Correct.
If there was a private road in the HOA, I went and got that private road agreement. I didn't wait for the underwriter to ask me for it. So that's my question to you is as a real estate agent, not all of us are, come from the title industry or the processing industry. However, I do. And my passion is to sell a home. But it's also to help make your job easier as well. And if I can be that extra, give me that list, and the first time I talk to someone, I go, by the way, just get this list together because she's going to ask it. I am in agreement with you. I've had people come and argue with me, well, I don't want to give that piece of paper. Well, then you can't do the program. So if you're not willing to give this up, unfortunately, it is not us who makes the rules. So
regulators,
if you want this 5%, you're going to have to go beyond, the fact that we're going to probably ask for more than, but we're not going to ask for blood, okay?
Sometimes I feel like there are days.
We're going to get some sweat.
I think a lot to go with what Diana has said about getting paperwork order. I think what agents can do to really, really help lenders is really set the expectations for the borrowers. Policy, there's changes, regulations,
I
federal
do it all the
regulations
time.
are constantly being changed, and I feel the biggest run-in that I've had issues with is the agent not really setting the borrower's expectation. So, oh yeah, we're going to close in 30 days, and and not really getting in contact with the lender, because inevitably enough, the lender's the one that is going to give the money out. So I think that if between the agent, the borrower, and the lender, if they can, mend some sort of team where they are in constant contact with each other and just aren't, weird about it. Some people are like, oh, here's your loan. I'm going to sit back and go get other deals. It's like, okay, well, we're still working on this loan together, So I just think that if everybody works in conjunction and you really set the expectation from the borrower, like, hey, in the beginning stages, and really educate them. In the beginning stages, we're going to get paperwork. We're going to need this. We're going to need that.
Well, one of the first things I do when I do my buyer communication, my first set is I always say, just so you know, I've never sold a house. And they kind of look at you because now I've got their attention and now they're listening to me because they're going, you're a real estate agent and you haven't sold a house. And I'm like, no, a house sells itself. Now, when was the last time you purchased a house? And then they tell me, and I go, okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a whole different rule. Since that 2008 to 2011, everything changed.
Oh, yeah.
The rules have changed. So yes, I work very diligently in educating and preparing my clients for you so that we all look like superstars, because then all of a sudden she'll turn around and she'll go, wow, no problem with getting that paperwork. And I want you guys to be telling my clients, she prepared you.
Correct.
Because this is a team effort. And yeah, I may be the real estate portion of that, but there's no I in real estate either.
Right.
There's a lot of E's.
Other things that we're really keen in is helping senior citizens also. We have a reverse mortgage that we do.
All right. Well, we're going to take that up in the next section here because
Okay.
we're ready to wrap up for this section. I want to again give you the call-in number. It's 702-483-4444. Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. And the commercial that you guys get to hear that introduces my show is my husband. And I am just thrilled to have him as my partner in my business. So I just want to let y'all know, please call in 702-483-4444. Good morning and welcome back to the Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Our call-in number is 702-483-4444. And I just also want to give you the number for after our show. So if you need to get in touch with me after the show to, set an appointment and meet with Diana and Julia, we really want to make this program work. So my phone number is 702-743-7797. 702-743-7797. Now, just before we went to the break, Diana was sharing with us something about the reverse mortgage for purchase. So we're going to go to that and turn it over to you, Miss.
Well, for reverse mortgage, but Lynaae, I have to say, when you came to our office, I was very impressed and to learn that you've been in the foster care system and you lived in 15 homes. No one can say that. What an amazing story about the abuse. I know. I was so touched that the abuse that you had, but this is why you want to put everyone in homes and make a good family and bring that back. I was just really touched. So I had to say that this morning. Not everybody takes it to a corporate level. Let's get it done. Let's get this moving. We are human beings and we are families and we really, really care. And that's why I say if somebody complains of what they're doing, I have a passion. I've been doing this over 26 years. I have seen it in and out. I was a home counselor. I've seen people lose their homes and cry in front of me. And this is why my dream, I have a dream. I want to put everybody into a home. I really do. So reverse mortgages are, you have to be 62. Okay, and a reverse mortgage, you could do a purchase reverse mortgage or a refinance. The reverse mortgage is a wonderful way. Why spend $2,000 or $2,500 a month in your mortgage where you put more money up front? You're 62 years of age. You could go travel. You could put some of that money in an IRA and live life very, very sensibly. I encourage every senior citizen to get in touch with you and look, if they're buying a home, to work on getting into a reverse mortgage.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because Greg and I, when we first got here in 2005, we actually started doing reverse mortgages, and at that time, reverse for purchase was not available.
Correct.
So, but there was times where we actually turned away clients because it wasn't the right fit. So one of the things that people don't understand about the reverse mortgages is over the years it's truly changed. It is an FHA product. However, there are conventional products out there. But on the whole, this is a FHA insured product. And if we could just get the senior to understand, when we were doing the refis, it was like getting rid of their house payment. So all they had to worry about would be the taxes, the insurance, and the HOA. And the program has changed since we were in it. Right now, I understand that you do have to be income qualified to a degree, because you have to prove that you can maintain your taxes, your insurance, and your HOA.
Correct.
Those are lienable items.
Correct.
So is a sewer, and so is the trash. And those are the things that get added on if you don't pay them. And one thing that most people didn't know is that the water bill is actually a silent lien. That means that if you don't pay it, that the next person who turns the water on has to pay that bill. Now, I have seen where the Las Vegas Valley Water has put liens on properties for water now. And it's rightly so, because it's something that it's been used. Okay?
Correct.
So unlike, the power and the gas and the telephones and the cable, that's on the consumer, that's on the renter, but that's not on the homeowner, the actual homeowner itself on the property. So, and that's where when we talk about bankruptcy and short sales, that's a whole different subject as well. So let's get back to the reverse for purchase. What, besides keeping money in their bank account, what do we call it, order of operation, things that they need to do to prepare for this?
You have to be 62. Also, there's a formula. The formula is, of course, we bring you in, we sit down, and we ask a little bit of your life. Do you have any money in the bank? Do you have any reserves? You have to have that money for the down payment to get into a reverse purchase. So we put you into a formula. So say we just put somebody into a house, 300,000. They had to come in with 180,000. They were happy with that because then the equity pays for itself and pays the mortgage every month, for say. They are so excited because not only do we educate them, okay, this is going to pay for your home, but they always ask the question, well, what happens if when I die? Does my family get my house? What do I do? And that's a really good question. So what happens is their family member has 30 days to purchase it. Okay, back.
And I do those, by the
and
way.
you do those.
I do,
so
as a matter of fact, I do the short sale ones too. Whereas right now, banks have been actually pretty liberal. They give us 30 to 6 months.
Correct.
So we've actually, depends upon each situation, but I've got one right now where the lady passed, and she passed in August, and we just got into probate a few days back. So, and the bank has been more than gracious in helping us through the process because there's equity left. And this particular family has chosen to sell the home. And they are going to sell the home, and the good news is then they get the equity at closing. So any equity that's been derived. But in the same course, I have another client. It's a reverse mortgage that's upside down, which now we're doing what we call a short sale. So what happens is the lien holder comes in and does an appraisal, and it's an FHA-based appraisal. And the big thing to know on this is that if the family wishes to purchase the property, they can purchase it at 95% of that FHA appraisal. And it's great because I had one where we did the reverse mortgage in 2007. The property appraised for $189,000. Today, that same property appraised for $79,000.
And the
Okay.
market is coming back. I don't want people to get nervous because a lot of people had short sales or foreclosures or BKs. Get back in. If you sit there and just dwell on your credit issues, nothing's going to happen.
And it
Nothing
takes
leaves
action.
for nothing. It takes action.
Now, do you have a system in place that helps people, like, for example, they're like 2 points from getting that great interest rate? They could just do one thing right on their credit
Yeah.
report.
Good question.
We actually have something called a credit simulator or a what if tool.
Okay.
So upon reading their credit, of course, people may have different debts or grievances, so to speak. So what we can do is we can go and manually pay down credit card X, and see exactly what score it may or may not bring them to. Or some of them may just have a lot of things on there. What if we got some of these things deleted? So more importantly, it's not just, oh, your credit's bad, go ahead and fix it, come back and see me. It's like, no, hey, you know what?
They get lost when you do
They
that.
get lost,
You know
and then
why?
they get
Exactly.
discouraged. So it's a simulator that helps you right there at our office or while we're talking to you on the phone.
I want
and
to see that.
I know. We will let you see that. It's
I wanna
a
do
free.
that.
It's
So,
a free
yeah.
simulator that we do, and we say it's as easy. Sometimes I had one client; she had to pay $20 off, and it brought her score up by 5 points. It's amazing.
See,
5 points
I
can
think you
bring-
guys could actually help me do a better job because here, as an agent, I look at getting people into homes. It's either I get zero if they don't close, or I get a portion if I help them. And in this particular case, the client was off by 3 points to get their 4% help on
Down
that home.
payment assistance.
Uh-huh. So I wound up giving them a point of my commission to
Nice of
to
you.
facilitate this. But again, if I had someone like you guys in place that could have done that simulator, that could have probably, maybe we could have only added 10 days to the closing, which these people were willing to do. We could have probably saved me.
Could have been a difference of thousands of dollars.
It was a couple $1,000s. But again, I looked at it, either $0 or $6,000. I mean, so
Right.
here's the thing. I'm willing to give to get the people in, but at the same time, if there's tools available as a real estate agent, why wouldn't I use you?
Or one should tell you and inform you this, as we had several meetings, Lynaae, with you and your
I know.
husband, and informed you of these special programs, and educate you also. And the other number one passion is to have patience. As a real estate agent, one called me yesterday, and he was really just angry, and he says, is this going to close? Is this going to close? Well, when I communicated to him that you took the consumer took $3,000 out of the bank cash. She was the donor, the mother, and put it in her son's account cash. It disqualified them. And I said, we have to start all over with the earnest money. He didn't realize that. He said, Diana, thank you so much for telling me that FHA change. If you're not reading every day like you're in college, it's going to really void out where you need to be for the next step.
You know, and that's one of the first things I do with my buyers as well. I said, if you get a refund check for $100 and you deposit it, you're going to have a letter of explanation. So I said, make a copy of it, write on there, deposit it. I said, other than that, go cash it. Don't put it in your bank account. Because I said, it doesn't matter if you are 20% down, the lender wants to know where that money came from. And it's as little as $100 and goes on up from there. And so I start by educating in that way. The other thing I always say, and you're not allowed to buy a car, open a credit card, nothing, until I hand the key to your hand, in your hand. When it's in your hot little hand, do you not do a thing?
We have a form, huh? Our form is the 10 Commandments.
I know, I heard you say
Yes, the 10 Commandments. Don't open up new accounts. Don't buy a car. Don't go buy furniture. Don't put a new car in that driveway before you have the house. Don't change jobs in the middle of the transaction. Don't pay off those collections or judgments unless we, as the
that's a
lender,
big one.
go over that with you. I had a $10 credit card collection. She went and paid it off. She thought she was okay. She didn't listen to the 10 Commandments, and it basically disqualified her out of a home now.
Because it tanks your
Listen
credit report.
to your loan officers, your lenders, your processors.
Those collections can be played through the
They
closing.
can, but listen to what they tell you and inform you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it upon yourself. We have people that come in and go, oh, well, you know what? I just, I spent way a whole lot more on my credit card. Well, it's called a MERS system. What the underwriter does, it goes through processing. When we take them through those steps, so they're very educated in communication. Once that underwriter gets your file, they pull credit again. And that's where they see, Diana, Julia, my team, things have changed. They went and opened up new accounts. So please listen to us. That's the other passion. Listen to what we say that will really help you get into that home
Almost
quickly.
wish there was a class just for
There is a
buying
class. That home
homeowner.
buyer class tells you all that information.
Right.
This is why we're very friendly with our nonprofits. It's an 8-hour class. It is worth it. I inform everybody, even if you've owned a home, educate yourself again. It's like changing the oil in your car. It's like going to get your annual physical. We are your mortgage doctors. You are the mortgage real estate doctor. You're their doctor. Let us work with you and help you. We're educated in this.
Right. And always remember that there is no such thing as a stupid question.
Correct.
Ever. I don't care. If you think, like you said, that $10 collection was, you think that's a no-brainer? Actually, I would have told you as a real estate agent, no, don't touch it. Don't call them. Don't do anything. Because if it's a requirement...
Brought her FICO down.
But right. And what will happen is the underwriter says, oh, I require that to be paid, but we can pay it at closing. And that way, our credit report is not affected by that very thing. And we have the letter in there disclosing an agreement, and it's taken care of. So one of the big things that I like to be educated about is making sure that I am saying the same thing. And I like this one last analogy. I don't like being a fly on the window. Okay?
The wall.
No, the fly on the window. And the reason I say that, fly on the window, is this. If a client doesn't understand something, it's better to hear it in another way than to continuously say the same thing over and over. I say it in a different way. If my client can't come back and tell me what I just said, that means that I need to go at it in a different way. And I always say it's about going around the window.
Right. And people comprehend things in a different way. I could tell somebody, this is our regulation from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or Ginnie Mae, and they're like, what is that? And I explain that to them. I explain it in simple format, and they're like, oh, I get it now. They think they just come to us and we turn on the button and just push buttons real quick. It is so much intensity, and our operations staff at Security National work weekends, nights. We really have a passion to get people into homes. We really do. It's not just the 9 to 5.
Now, how much control do you have over hiring the people who help process the files and underwrite the files, and how much input as a manager?
I work with a couple different processors. I work with Alicia, who is a fantastic regional operations manager, she wakes up at 5 in the morning and takes care of horses, and then comes in the office at 6, and we're talking to each other till midnight, and sometimes 2 in the morning. She's fantastic. She also makes sure that we have the right staff in place that cares and that is knowledgeable. Remember, our industry collapsed, so a lot of people got out of our industry and they don't care to get back into it. You know why? Because every morning you're waking up with a challenge in our industry. So the people that have lasted in our industry, I commend them, because it is a lot of work to help you get into a home
I truly
now.
agree with that. But the good thing is that also left better people in place that if they're willing to
Correct.
go the extra mile,
Correct.
because you guys require now national education as well as state education.
Right, the trust factor. I've had people come in my office, is this real? Did I get this down payment? I've been burned, I said, most of those people are in like orange suits right now. So we're here to help you. The people that are left are real, and they care, and they have nothing on their record, and they really, really care.
Oh, I got in trouble because I care. So there. Sorry, I got in trouble because I gave a client money because I wanted to help them close their house.
Can't
And
do
I can't
that.
do
You can't do that.
Well, that was like many years ago.
Many years ago, and you didn't know in the regulations, we stick right with the regulations, do it the right way, because wrong way can catch up with you. The right way can never catch up with you. So do it the right way, and we really, really help and educate our consumers.
Well, good. This is Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Our call-in number is 702-483-4444. Our guest today, Diana Dykes with
Security National Mortgage.
I love the way you say that. Security National Mortgage. I like that. That's got a good ring to it. And I got Julia Garcia.
Hello, good morning.
All
Security
right.
National.
So again, our call-in number is 702-483-4444, and we'll be right back after this break. Hey, welcome back. Good morning. Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Our call-in number is 702-483-4444. And today I have guests in the studio from Security National
Mortgage Company. Good morning.
Yes, I love it. Okay, what I love about it is I've got two wonderful guests here, Julia Garcia and Diana Dykes, who's the manager of your branch.
Correct.
Okay, and your branch is on Sahara.
Sahara and Fort Apache.
Okay, and I got to visit, and boy, very nice setup there. So, so we're going to talk about something. Leave it to the government.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. To do an acronym of an acronym. TRID. TILA RESPA. That word, what's the I stand for? It's the integrated disclosure. Okay, so
Correct.
Let's try that again. TILA RESPA, integrated disclosure. That's what TRID is. So leave it to the government, as I said, to give us a acronym for an acronym. Okay, so we've heard a lot of stuff. Everybody's going, oh my God, we're gonna have delayed closings. I've actually found they've gone smoother for some reason. Gosh, my client signs and the money comes in the same day.
So basically what TRID was brought for consumers was, like she says and repeatedly says, bring consumer confidence and to make sure that they are informed. A lot of the times when people were closing, they have these 90 to 100 page documents, and they don't know left from right. It may as well be in a foreign language. So by enacting TRID, it's supposed to smooth the process out a little bit and make some forms easier to read for the borrower so that there's less confusion and they are more of an informed borrower.
So do they receive their entire package by email prior to going into closing?
If they disclose that, it's an electronic world. So if the client does decide they want to receive documents electronically, they can consent to that, and we
So
can go
where does
ahead
the
and do
3-day
that.
thing come in? Does it start when they get that set of documents and then they come in and sign 3 days later?
I think what you're talking about with TRID is the time frames now that they've mandated on certain documents, so that there isn't so much of a laissez-faire attitude with the loan process. Like Diana had mentioned before, it would take weeks to get documents from clients or agents or borrowers, what have you. So this kind of just smooths the process out a little bit. And like you were saying with the 3 days, it's upon with the electronic, as soon as you send it out, that's when the 3 days starts. Obviously, if you send it by mail, it's a little bit different, but with the electronic, it is a lot quicker.
Well, you have your loan estimate, and then you have your closing disclosure, which
Correct.
took place of the good faith. Okay, in the HUD-1. So the real estate agents, I don't know why they were left out of this regulation, but they don't get to see now at the end
I do.
of HUD-1.
Well, 'cause you're very informed.
You're
You're
ready
very-
for
you are
it. You're a
over-informed.
savvy real estate agent.
That's one thing
yeah.
I admire about
So,
you is how
yeah.
informed you are, and I think that goes a lot
Do you know
with your
I
background.
am not allowed to explain that document?
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And if an agent does, so I think the next billboard we're going to see is from the attorney says, let us review your closing documents for free. And they're going to find out who did that
Did
disclosure.
that. Just be very careful.
Yeah,
Again,
so I don't do that anymore.
we're in a regulated industry.
Mm-hmm.
It is not more about doing mortgages. It's regulation after regulation.
Pay them fees.
Now, you have your loan estimate and all those fees. That's why it's important to work with a title company. We work with a few that are really, really good. WFG is really good on that. They're really ready for us. We also work with Driggs, a couple different title
I
companies that
do
we
First
work
American.
with. First
I actually
American.
work with First American, Old Republic.
Old Republic's
Actually,
good.
I work with a lot
of them are
them.
very good in town.
Well, but my thing is part of, and I dug into this a little bit. RESPA requires that I give my clients a list of the title
Correct.
companies for them to
Correct.
make the calls, to make the choice. And now I actually have it set up so that if a listing agent insists that we go through their title company, that at the end of that escrow or right before closing, they get a letter from an attorney and they've got two choices.
Yeah. No,
Because you know
have
what?
to.
It's the
their
buyer's choice. The
It is
buyer's
the
left
buyer's
with the
choice.
policy. So we have to make sure that we're protecting our buyer. But it's my job as part of the disclosure process to ensure that they have educated themselves. You go buy a car, you call around and you find the insurance company that works for you. You buy a house, you do the same thing. It doesn't matter who's paying for the policy. In the end, it is the buyer's policy.
And you want to make sure, again, you have a good title company that's working with you that does title and escrow at the local level.
Right.
So they can pull up if there's any mechanic liens, if there's any garbage liens, that they're doing the right job for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, they're giving us, as the lender, the right fees up front.
Right.
Because a loan officer, if we don't get the right fees up front, at the end, one of my loan officers got caught in TRID and had to pay $2,700 because there was a transfer of title buying the house. And it has changed. The law has changed. Work with professionals. We will educate
Now,
you.
why wasn't the title company held responsible for that?
Because the title company kept asking, who's changing title, who's changing title.
And they didn't get that answer.
was an operational little glitch,
Okay.
but they should have communicated better. So we put some different methods in place.
Good.
TRID is new to everybody.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
going to take a little time. You get a loan estimate as a consumer
Mm-hmm.
up front, and it goes over all your fees. Then you get a closing disclosure, which has taken over of the HUD-1 now. The LE is taken over as the good faith, and the closing disclosure is taken over as the HUD-1. All those fees have to be similar. There is change of circumstances, but if your APR changes, then we have to start all over for the 3-day process before we can close the loan.
Well,
Make
you talked
sense?
about, yes, and you talked about, one of the things I always do when I write up a house for my buyer is I pull the county records because it shows me if
Correct.
somebody's been paying their trash or their sewer and all that.
That's perfect.
And it's
You
always
go the
written
extra
into
mile.
Yep, and it's
Ugh,
always
a
written into the
professional.
offer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have these tools as real estate agents available to us. There's no reason in the world not to do it.
And as lenders.
And I know you do, but it's like again, the real estate agent can help facilitate this so much better. So I want to thank both of you. It was such a
Thank you for
pleasure
having
having you
us.
in my
Yeah, this
in
is
our
fun.
studio.
We love what we do,
Well,
so
we're
this
going to
is
have to come in
fun.
and do this again because I'm sure that there's
Exactly.
some more programs we could talk about.
Oh,
And,
many,
we
and
can
how to
go
get
in depth about the
into a
FHA
home.
203K.
Yes.
Okay. So again, Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm going to end the show with my cell phone number. Please call me. As you can tell, it did get turned on today, and you did get to hear the phone call ring. So I apologize for that, but it's 702-743-7797. 702-743-7797. Real Estate Know-How with Lynaae. Thank you and have a great day.
Take care.
Take care.